All right, guys, welcome to another live stream. Welcome to another day here on the market. Wednesday, July 14th. Yesterday, pretty interesting day yesterday. We had, I don't know, I don't know if I want to call it a bull trap, but we definitely had a big move. We had a bunch of weird moves, right? We had the fall off the CPI, then we had the big recovery, then we had the big fall later in the day. So just a lot of choppiness, a lot of volatility. I guess you would call it that. Just a big volatility day. Just looking at this real quick, you could see CPI, big hit off CPI in the morning. You guys were here live for that. And then just a big spike out of the gates, big recovery, back to all-time highs, almost to 15,000. And then right back down to where we started later in the day, the second half of the day. So very interesting. Holding up today, pushing higher this morning. So we'll go ahead and cover all of that. Join the Discord, I can't find you. My name is, here you go real quick. Just to answer your question. My name is Desi Trade in the Discord right here. This purple guy right here. That's me. Desi Trade. So hopefully that answers your question. If not, feel free to email me. The link is the email's in the link. I'm sorry. The email is in the description below. So interesting day yesterday. Starting to get a little bit movement back today. Apple is leading the Nasdaq this morning. A huge move on Apple this morning. Pretty crazy. Apple's been absolutely killing it. We've been all over Apple. It finally hit those all-time highs, which it deserves to be at. So congratulations to anyone. We have Baba gapping up. So we're going to look at a few different things today. I have a good schedule for us. I have a good array of things. And then we also have some earnings that came out this morning. So we'll go ahead and just quickly review those. And then we are going to talk a little bit about some of the economic news that is going to come out today. So it's 8:02. Good morning, Bill. Let's go ahead and just look at this schedule real quick. So today's schedule, futures as always. Let me go ahead and write down that Baba, Uber, Starbucks, Neo, Palantir. There's a lot already, but we'll try to get to them. All right, so Beige Book. After futures, Nasdaq, Dow, S&P 500. We'll look at them. Beige Book is news that's coming out at 2 o'clock today, I believe. Let me make sure it's 2 o'clock, or is it 2:30? Hold on one second. 2:30 or 2 o'clock? Economic calendar. It is at 2 p.m. Beige Book coming out, and I actually have, for you that may not know what the Beige Book is, I have a Investopedia link up for you guys so we can talk a little bit about it. If you guys don't know about something, Investopedia is a great resource. So I've learned a whole lot from Investopedia. So if you want to learn more about certain things that go on in the market, economic news, the importance of different reports, trading terminologies, check out Investopedia. It is such a good resource. So we'll talk about that. Apple upgrade this morning. So Apple got an upgrade this morning, and that is why it is moving so much. Partially due to that, but also due to yesterday them releasing news about basically offering payment plans. So this is going to kill where I say AFRM in trouble. AFRM is a company that does payment plans online. So like when you guys make a big purchase, it says, do you want to pay in installments? And that is AFRM. That's a firm. And Apple just came out and said they're going to do that themselves on anything purchased with an Apple. I think it was with an Apple Pay. So that made a firm take a really big hit yesterday. We're going to look at that. We're going to look at Apple, but Apple moving up very nice this morning. Disney, a little bit of a flag pattern forming on Disney over the last 2 days, and looks like in the pre-market today, we are starting to break out of it. So I want to show you this today. I want to show you this little flag that I see, and maybe we can try to catch a trade. But either way, Disney has been very strong the last few days, finally, and we'll talk a little bit about Disney. Tesla, it's just a big rejection on Tesla. tried to push up into those highs, got rejected once again. Very, very weak yesterday. Really was hoping for, one of those nice strong Tesla days yesterday, trying to push us through 700, but it is still stuck. It is still not. They're not letting Tesla push right now. They're keeping it down below 700, it seems, and we just have to, sort of trade with the trend, trade the price action. But right now, yesterday the price action was not there, and it was very obvious right from the open. We did get a little bit of a push, but it got quickly, killed down. And the rest of the day was just sort of chop. So nothing really going on with Tesla yesterday. So we'll take a look at the chart and see what we can expect. AFRM, I'll show you the chart. That is a firm. BABA gap up. So BABA, another gap up. 2 days in a row that BABA has gapped up. One of the main reasons I think it's gapping up is because of this technical formation that I'm going to show you. It fell below an important trend line, and I think it is trying to recover that trend line as fast as possible. So we'll look at BABA. After that, we'll run through a few of the earnings reports that released this morning and what we can expect into this end of this week. So that's my schedule. After we do that, we will go into some of the stocks that you guys have recommended, and then we'll wrap up the stream. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into this. Before we do, make sure to press that like button. I'd appreciate that very much. So Nasdaq, let's get into this. So I'm going to go out to the daily. I'm going to delete some of these lines and redo them all for you here live because there is quite a bit there. And that's just me intraday charting out lines, looking at levels. So I'm going to delete these, and let's go ahead and redo this whole thing. Why not? So here's the Nasdaq. Just another big push higher. I'm in the big picture here. I'm still watching the top of this trend line as where we may find maybe a potential dip or a potential top. I am going to continue to watch the top of this trend line, which maybe takes us, if we take it a few more days, maybe a few more weeks, maybe takes us to around 15.2, 15.3. If we get there, the big break will be that 15,000 psychological level. That will be what I'm definitely going to be watching. So here on the hourly chart, really just a crazy uptrend. I mean, that's the first thing I see, right? On the hourly chart, all you see is this big uptrend. We did sort of break below that trend right here, but we've been sort of riding it. It's interesting now that I sort of mapped this out. I haven't mapped this hourly chart out before, but what you guys will notice is this uptrend held. It broke through right here on Thursday of last week, and now it is starting to try to push above it, but having a lot of trouble. So this could be interesting. This could be something to watch. I just sort of charted this out today. So watch the tops of these of this channel. You can see every single time it hits it, it sort of pulls back, but it is still in a nice uptrend. So let's go to the 4 hour. Let's take a look at this 4 hour. As we talk about almost every stream, continuously holding that 20-day. So this 20-day moving average on the 4 hour seems to be very reliable in this uptrend, at least. Not always will it be reliable, but in the uptrend that we are currently seeing, you can see how many times this stock or this index has bounced off the 20-day on the 4 hour multiple times. So I'm going to continue to watch this 20-day as a way to try to analyze how long this trend may have to go. So right now we're getting another bounce, very nice bounce off the 20-day, and we got it yesterday after CPI. So if we zoom in here, this big red candle was CPI. This one right here, this 5 a.m. candle for the 4 hour was CPI data. Then this next big one was intraday or market open until the first 4 hours of the market, and then this red candle was the back half of yesterday. So very interesting. But the one thing that I want to show you is that we did hold the 20-day on the 4 hour. So that is something to watch, and it looks like we are pushing off of it once again here in the morning. If we go down to, let's say, the 5-day 15, let's see, and we can go to here. So this takes us back to Wednesday of last week. The big thing that I am watching is this huge demand zone that has formed. So anywhere between these previous highs right here, you can see these previous highs, to then this chop over here, but this has been holding. This whole area has held beautifully. Anywhere from, say, 14,800 up to around 14,860. this whole area has been some really strong support here. Manny, this is just the Nasdaq, the NQ. So previous resistance turning into support, holding here on the Nasdaq, still very bullish. I have to stay bullish because you're seeing this hold form today. We're pushing off of it once again. So until I see maybe something like this, where we fall below, and then we try to retest it as you know, to break back through that resistance. If I see something like this, then I know that we are no longer in this short-term uptrend, because we just fell through support, turned it into resistance right here, and then fell back lower. So that would create your lower high and lower low. But until I see that, I'm just going to continue to stay bullish here and continue to watch these levels, see if we can hold this little demand zone here around 14,860 to 14,840. Right now, we're getting another bounce off of it. So that is what I'm watching there for the Nasdaq. You can see it even more right here. Previous resistance turning into support here. Just another stair step higher. Let's see. I guess today, let's see if we can try to get back towards that 15,000 on the Nasdaq. It's about 70 points away, so about another 0.5%. Let's see if we can get there. If not, I just want to see us hold this previous demand zone. So that is the Nasdaq. Right now, it is being pushed higher by Apple, pretty much. Apple's running the show this morning, it seems like. So here is the Dow. Let's go to the 4-hour right here. And we will see that we were able to quickly push through. Why is this not? Oh, wrong chart. 4-hour. When trading intraday, I use the 1 minute and the 5 minute. So here is the Dow on the 4-hour, right? So we were able to push through that resistance, the supply zone, yesterday, I believe it was. Or was this on Monday? I believe this might have been on Monday. Yeah, it was on Monday. So Monday, we had a big, nice Dow candle higher through this supply zone, through this resistance. But quickly, we're getting beat down again. So the Dow is getting right back into that area. So let's see what it does today. But it looks like we're getting a little bit more bullish here. We're getting a push through this supply. Previous resistance, previous resistance, previous resistance in the past. We were able to get up to around 34.9. Not quite able to hit that all-time high in the Dow just yet. Yeah, we do have producer price index this morning at 8:30. So we will look at the market for that. See if we have any type of large reaction. But yeah, good call out, Prince Hakeem. So Dow, push higher, still holding this very nice 34,000 level. If we go down to, say, the 10-day, 30-minute, it's really just a bunch of chop here, guys, in between this supply zone. We really just need to clear this area. We need to get something to get us above this area, to clear this area and push us up into all-time highs. We do not want to see this, make a really bad triple top where maybe you get something like this. So it'd be, higher, pushed lower, push back into it, we fall off of it, push back into it, we fall off of it again. We don't really want to see that, because that would confirm this triple top, pretty nasty triple top here in the Dow. So we definitely want to see this breakout come in here pretty soon and try to get some new highs here, getting out of this supply zone on the Dow. So let's watch that. Maybe earnings will help us. Maybe the bank earnings can help us. Maybe some more of the Dow stocks coming out with earnings can push us through. Or maybe this is the perfect opportunity for the Dow to take to fall off of this triple top coming into earnings. You have to think both ways, and both of them make a lot of sense to me. Maybe we come out with bad earnings. Maybe some companies don't perform as well. Some Dow stocks don't perform too well, and we start to see the fall off of this triple top, creating this very distinct triple top here. Potential, something you need to consider. You can't just always be bullish here. So there's definitely two sides to this story. But what's interesting is the Dow is at a pretty big inflection point here, coming into maybe some pretty important earnings. So let's keep an eye on this. This is very important level where the Dow is right now. But right now the Dow is up about 23 points, so about 0.07%. So nothing crazy. ES, S&P 500. So S&P 500, really all that I'm going to talk about for this indice or this index is this level right here at 43.40. You can see resistance, 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 turning into support, and all I care about is this to turn into support once again. I just want to see this continue to hold support on the S&P. So let's keep an eye on it. Let's see if this thing holds up. Let's see if it holds 43.40. If it does not, then my next level to watch would be down here at these previous lows, which are right around 42.90, 42.80. Let's call it 42.85, right in this area. After that, you have the 42.30s, 42.40s. But this would be the short-term, very important support. You can see previous resistance, 1, 2, 3, turning into support. I definitely want to see this turn into support this week. So that is my look on the S&P 500, and that's all the futures there. So still a bullish morning. Nasdaq's higher, S&P's higher, Dow is higher, all by a few percentage. 0.5, 0.5% for the Nasdaq, 0.2 for the S&P, and 0.07 for the Dow. So green across the board. Let's see how that continues today. Beige book. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. Here's the economic calendar today, guys. Economic calendar today, you can see producer price index at 8:30. We will take a look and see how that affects the market. And then the beige book. The beige book, I'm going to go ahead and pull that up for you. A little definition for anyone that may not know what it is. But here it is right here. So beige book, and this is something that the Fed releases. So the beige book is a qualitative report produced and published by the U.S. Federal Reserve. So right here is really what it is. The FOMC uses information from the beige book to make important decisions about the national economy. So they take it's some data points for the Fed to make decisions, maybe on interest rates, on bond tapering, on exchange rates, everything that the Fed needs to take into consideration when making their decisions. The beige book is they publish this information. So it comes out at 2 o'clock today. We will want to see how the market reacts to it. We want to see what happens, and we want to be cognizant of these news events. So beige book comes out at 2, and we will see if the market has any reaction to it. All right, and another thing, it's only published 8 times a year. So it's not, it doesn't come out too often. So it is important to take a look at that. So that's that. Apple upgrade. Let's go ahead and jump into Apple here. Yeah, so we're gonna look at Apple. For anyone new, we're gonna look at Apple, Disney, Tesla, Affirm, and Baba. And then I have Intel, Facebook, Amazon, PayPal, Neo, Palantir, and Starbucks. We might not get to all those, but I have them on the list from you guys. There. All right, Apple. How come some stock Apple correlated? It's because the Nasdaq is comprised of stocks, right? So the Nasdaq is a certain amount of stocks, right? The Nasdaq 100 is 100 stocks, and out of those 100 stocks, some of them have higher weightings, and it depends on how the index is weighted. You either have equal weighted indexes. I think you have price weighted indexes. For example, the Dow, there's bigger weights in the Dow for certain stocks. So UNH is I think UNH is now the biggest Dow component. So if there's a huge Dow component like UNH that moves, it's obviously going to influence the Dow a little bit more. So the Dow will obviously be affected by UNH if UNH moves. Apple is a large percent of the Nasdaq. If Apple moves, the Nasdaq will get helped because it is comprised of Apple. It's in that 100 stocks. So that's how an index works, guys. It's a bunch of stocks all in one. Just check it out on Investopedia. All these questions very easily answered on Investopedia. So Apple, what a move. That's really all I could say. I mean, this move off of this trend line, I remember, 2 months ago when I was watching this stock off this trend line, and it's just incredible to see, what it has done in the recent trend. Just crazy upside, moving even higher this morning. So you can see this breakout of this wedge was just monstrous. A huge move higher, guys. and it has not stopped since. So if we go to the 4-hour, you will see that we are now up to 148 in the pre-market, which is just wild. I mean, 150 not too far away. 150 a pretty psychological level, and if the Nasdaq keeps going, then Apple's going to keep going as well. So we got a JP Morgan price target increase to 175. They increased it $5 from 170. So they maintain an overweight rating here on Apple. JP Morgan upgrade this morning, and it is definitely getting a little bit of momentum here, Apple, this morning. So you can see right when pre-market opened around 4 a.m. Eastern, we got that push higher, and we are continuously moving higher. This big candle's a glitch. I would ignore that. But big move on Apple, guys. Probably most of the reason the Nasdaq is higher today. And at this point, I'm just going to continue to watch this 4-hour chart and continue to see when we get those bounces off the 20-day. So if we get a bounce off the 20-day, that would be my buy signal if we get those pullbacks. You can see every single time we hit the 20-day on this 4-hour chart, we have gotten a beautiful bounce. So if we do get any pullbacks to the 4-hour, I will definitely be one to be watching for a buyer, watching as a buyer here for Apple. That's really all that I can say for that, for a longer term trend. If you don't want to look at the 4-hour, if you're trying to catch those quick movements, you really just got to watch the previous highs of the previous days as a momentum trader. That's really all that I would be watching here. So watch yesterday's highs on Apple here, see if we can find support. Just watch all these highs, look for support levels, see if we can bounce off these levels if we get any pullback, and just watch the price action, watch the Nasdaq, and trade it intraday if you'd like. But for the long-term trend, I'm just going to be watching this 4-hour chart to see if we continue to hold this uptrend and this continues to provide opportunity to the upside. Obviously, we will want to have the Nasdaq be strong for Apple to move as well. So Apple, very strong, guys. Watch this today. Definitely can continue. Definitely also due for a pullback. So, we have to see how this market opens this morning. Disney. So, Disney on the daily chart. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. So, as you guys may know, we've been watching. We've been covering Disney for some time. We sort of haven't looked at it in quite a bit because of just the slide that continued to go down here. But the one thing that I do love is this hold at 170. Very nice little quad bottom here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times we tried to break it below 170. Got a very nice push higher. And it's very clear, you guys can see this on the chart that you're looking at, a big breakout of this downtrend. So this would be just a big flag pattern here on the daily chart. And look at this breakout here. I'm actually interested to see what the weekly looks like. Yeah, look at that weekly, guys. That's pretty clean. So look at this weekly chart on Disney. That's pretty clean. So nice consolidation to the downside, a little bit of a flag pattern, and look at this last week breaking out of this weekly chart. So I'm interested. This could be a big move here. So I'm going to continue to watch Disney. Big candle yesterday, a little bit of continuation. I'm sorry, big candle Monday, a little bit of continuation yesterday. Let's see what it does today. But the other thing that I'm watching is another shorter term flag. So we have this big term flag breakout, which is very big, which definitely can continue. This is similar to PayPal, and you saw what happened with PayPal. But if we break this down to, say, the hourly chart, there's actually another smaller flag pattern that I'm watching today. So let me go to the 5-day 15. And let's see if this flag will want to break out here on Disney. I was sort of watching this. I ignored these highs because it really got killed, but you can see we had resistance up here. We had some resistance right here, and it looks like we're starting to push above it this morning. This little flag pattern, this little breakout that's forming right now. Now, this is not going to be as strong as, say, that daily breakout or the weekly chart breakout, but this is interesting. I want to see, can Disney continue today? There's obviously some really tough resistance up here around 185. We definitely got shot down there pretty quickly yesterday. So if you're watching Disney today, definitely keep this 185 on your charts. I'm definitely going to keep this here for myself, right up here around 185, 185.50. So let's watch that. Disney, let's see what it's doing. So a little bit of a move higher in the pre-market today. It did have a monster move off their lows of around 182, but sort of slided lower in the back half of the day with the rest of the market. So let's see. Very nice weekly trend, very nice daily chart, really big breakout on those time frames, and let's see how this performs. Yeah, at times you want to ignore some of these big spikes. At times, this spike still proves that there is resistance here, though. You don't want to ignore that. You don't want to ignore the fact that it got shot down twice at this level. You can see 1, 2, and actually 3 times. So this level is rock solid here on Disney. So be careful trading Disney into this 185.30 area. So that you don't want to ignore. Tesla's green. I didn't even know that. Yeah, not much, like 50 cents, but all right. So Tesla, actually, you know what? That brings us to the next one. Tesla rejection. So 4-hour chart, guys, and we will see the rejection that came in. Oh, excuse me. On Tesla. So, whoops. Okay, let's go ahead and zoom in here on Tesla. This is between Wednesday. This is about a 2-week period right here, guys, on Tesla. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attempts into that the mid 690s, 700s supply zone right here on Tesla. So very interesting. A lot of resistance, and every single time we touch it, it is a nasty rejection. So yesterday, it was looking good. I was thinking, okay, maybe we had the fall, we had the retest, and this could be the push through. But, sometimes I'm not right, and that is something that, no one's always right. And it looks like that we got a nice push into it and got rejection. JJ, you're right. Let me take a sip of coffee. I'm a little tired today. So we got the push in the high 690s, potentially almost 700. I think we hit about a 694 high, but look at this rejection, guys. Really nasty. Let's zoom out to the 4-hour or the 5-minute and look at basically from open. I mean, just from open right away. Here's pre-market. Here's your rejection into the supply zone and just an instant move lower in the pre-market. This was CPI data, and then a continuation at market open and just a slide all day on Tesla. So if you took puts, congratulations. This was a beautiful day for puts on Tesla. Just a continuous slide lower. Probably made a good amount of money just holding those puts all day. But now really all we can do is continue to watch Tesla, continue to see if it can hold up some of these previous levels, maybe in the 670s, hold this previous trend line, and just see if we can try to push back up into the 690s. Me personally, I'm going to be very careful trading Tesla until I get some type of true confirmation of the next move. So I want to see maybe a confirmation through this 700 or at least a push into this level before really trying to guess where this is going to go. Buying it here, it's a total guess. You don't know if it's going to push back. You don't know if it's going to pull back. So at this point, I'm going to make sure to leave Tesla alone a little bit, wait for it to actually decide a move, because if this thing just chops around for the next few weeks, you can really get chopped up as a trader trying to guess where this goes. So yeah, I mean, you have that Elon court stuff that's going on. Maybe that affected it a little bit. But for me personally, let's wait until we see an actual move here, an actual trend on Tesla. So next we have AFRM. AFRM. Now, 5-day, 15-minute. All I want to show you here today is that when that Apple news came out yesterday. Oh. Keep yawning. When that Apple news came out yesterday, which was right here. Hold on. Here we go. Right at, well, it's funny. Right at 2:01 p.m. yesterday Eastern. Look at the increase in volume. Look at the fall here on a firm. Just really, really nasty. So this was the trading day. This is not after hours. This was the trading day before this news came out. And right here is the news of Apple accepting payment plans. So A little bit of trouble here on Affirm. I've liked this stock. I think they do great work, but when a company like Apple comes for their heads, that's a little concerning, right? That's a little concerning. When a company like Apple comes and tries to, do what they do. That's sort of like what they did with, if you guys are familiar with the Tile, like the thing that holds your, that finds your keys in your wallet, it's called Tile. That's sort of what Apple killed with their tags, their Apple tags, right? So it looks like Apple's getting into, look at NQ. Yeah, NQ's up 0.5 now. It's 8:30. Shoot, you're right. 8:30. PPI's coming out. All right. Here's your move. So producer price index. Good call. Ooh, she's going. Let's go to CNBC. Let's see if they have the news for us. Is it Dow pushing? Yeah, Dow's pushing as well. Waiting to see if CNBC has some news for us. Yeah, Apple tag. That's what it's called. I'm trying to see if anyone have the PPI data here. I don't have CNBC really just not interested in updating it. Let's see if I can look it up online. PPI. Well, right now we're getting a nice push higher. So I don't have the PPI data still. But look at this Nasdaq push, holding up pretty well. You got the Dow pushing up as well. Let's see, what are some stocks doing? Apple, decent move there on Apple. Amazon, decent move here in the morning on Amazon. What's Disney? Home Depot, some Dow stocks. Boeing, Baba, big move higher today. But no, yeah. So there's your PPI data. Big push higher here in the Nasdaq this morning. So it looks like we're getting a nice move higher. Oh wow, look at that. Big volume too. Damn. PPI up 1% versus estimated 0.6. Yes, I do use a Mac Mini. Okay, guys, so this PPI data coming out is causing a very big reaction to the upside this morning on the Nasdaq. How's the Dow performing? Pretty good reaction here on the Dow as well. Here's the ES. Nice push higher on the ES. So let's see how this holds up. Let's see how this holds up today. That is what you want to watch out for. So knee-jerk reaction is to the upside right now on the Nasdaq. Next, Baba. I don't know why I'm yawning so much today. It's like just keeps on making me yawn. So yeah, still no news on CNBC, but Baba, big push higher once again. This was 2 days in a row that we got a gap up here on Baba. So this was yesterday, right here, gap up yesterday, consolidation, gap up today. Maybe we consolidate again. Maybe we continue to push higher, but a big gap up on Baba once again today. And the reason why I think we're seeing this producer price index is the PPI data. It's on. If you go to economic calendar, you guys will see it there. So the reason why I think Baba was able to recover and push up higher here is because you guys see this line that's sort of grinding higher here. You have this these two support levels. You can see how it fell below that line here back in the beginning of July. Now, after falling below that line, it had a very strong recovery back above this line and is now finding really strong support on that trend line. Now, that trend line comes from a weekly chart right here, and this weekly chart on Baba has a very nice strong uptrend. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and this was the 5th and 6th hold, and then we fell through it. What I just showed you, we fell through it, but we are now pushing right back above and I'll show you how right here on this trend line. So you can see this is the trend line that I just showed you on the weekly chart. Here is your push back above that trend line on BABA. So it's a good look. We did fall below it, but look how strong we recovered back above, and that is a good look for BABA. So as you know, moving forward, all that I care about for BABA is I want to make sure to see it hold this trend line right here, and make sure that it holds this trend line. As long as it does, I will look for upside back on this trend. And really, if we look at the daily chart, this thing has, or let's say a weekly chart, this thing really has some potential upside if it can bounce off this weekly chart and actually do something here. You know, off of this weekly chart, maybe even breaking this downtrend, you know, right here. So big downtrend, would need to see us hold this weekly chart and push off of it, breaking this downtrend, then maybe we have this move. But this is a lot of room up here if we're able to make this breakout. So let's keep an eye on it. Let's keep an eye on BABA and see if we can hold that level. So that's that. That's BABA. Next, yo, what's, oh wow, Nasdaq up almost 100 points. Okay. Yeah, so Nasdaq still sort of holding in there. Very interesting. What's the Dow doing? Dow trying, so this is an interesting one. Dow is trying to push back above that supply zone we talked about this morning. You see this? So we're trying to push back above this supply zone here on the Dow. Can we do it? That is what I want to see. Can we push above it today? Okay, so before we get into the stocks you guys want to see, if you could go ahead and press that like button for me. I would really appreciate that if you're enjoying the stream so far. I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee, and let's go ahead and jump into some of the stocks that you guys want to look at. So the first one was Intel. Intel. 1 year daily chart on Intel. Looks like we've analyzed this before. Me personally, I would be waiting to see this breakout until buying Intel. If you can get this breakout, maybe even a retest, then you buy it on that. Fill this gap right here. That would be a perfect trade. So wait for the breakout of this 58 level. Very tough resistance. If you get that breakout, then you can probably look for this gap fill right here on Intel. That is what I'd be looking for. So keep an eye on Intel. Look for the 58 break. If it does not break 58, I wouldn't touch it because you could get chopped up here. This thing could just continue to go sideways and not give you really any type of trade. So watch this 58 on Intel. See if it can break through. Facebook. So we talked about the 20-day on Facebook. This was in my live stream. It could have also been in my Sunday video. I don't remember, but either way, Facebook. We talked about this little demand zone right here. You can see I already have it drawn out. Little demand zone right here on Facebook. We're bouncing off it beautifully, off the 20-day, moving higher. One thing that is a little concerning was yesterday's wick, but that was also due to the market in general. So the market had a big move higher, big move lower, and that's where, you know, this wick is being put in. But if we break this down to, let's say, the 4 hour, we can see that this demand zone here is being held up. So you have previous resistance turning into support, a push higher. We tried to break resistance yesterday here. You can see a little bit of a triple top, a little bit of a pretty heavy resistance up here at the top here at 358 on Facebook. So I'm going to draw that, keep that on my charts here. 358 on Facebook is definitely tough, and then this 345 is the support. So as of right now, Facebook has this little channel that it is currently in. Does it continue to trade in this channel, or do we get the breakout or the breakdown? So at this point, I would just continue to watch the upsides, the 358s, and then the 345s, and see where this breakout occurs, and see if Facebook can find some strength. If the Nasdaq breaks 15,000 today, gets a huge move higher, then I would definitely be on the side of looking for Facebook to break that high of 358. That's Facebook. Amazon. So Amazon, I don't know, guys. I'm one that thinks Amazon has more upside. I think after this year-long consolidation, a breakout on a huge stock like Amazon makes sense and could potentially continue higher. Now, that doesn't mean that in the short term there could be some pullbacks, and Amazon definitely got a little nasty yesterday. So here was Amazon's chart yesterday, and this thing just tanked later half in the day. I mean, I don't want to say tanked because that's sort of a nasty word. People get a little freaked out. But it definitely slid lower on the Nasdaq. Definitely slid lower on Amazon yesterday into close. So looking at the 30-day, looking at some of these short-term time periods, I think the first one that I'm watching is going to be this little consolidation, this little structure point in the market. You can see we had this little area right around this 3630, 3640 area, some previous support here, and then some previous choppiness in this area. So I'm definitely going to be watching this zone here for potential support on Amazon. That will be my first short-term level. After that level, I am going to be watching this level here, this 35.15. Also, that I didn't realize, this level also matches up pretty nicely with these previous highs, right? So these previous highs back here in April, they line up pretty well with where this sort of held up on Amazon, right around this 3,600 area. So that's my first area here on Amazon, right near these highs, right near these 36.15 areas. After that, if we were to fall below that, then we could get a very clean break and retest here at 35.15. Then I would definitely be interested in being a buyer down at these levels, because this would put in a beautiful break and retest of previous resistance. Maybe that's where we find support. So I have my levels to the downside, which I will continue to watch, but obviously I come into every day unbiased. If Amazon gets some really strong movement, Nasdaq strong, then obviously I'll look to the upside. But I like to have these downside levels here just in case we see any pullback. So that's Amazon. PayPal. So guys, we called out. Can you give a shout out on what indicators you mean? So I used the 9 EMA. Here's what I use for my trading intraday. I use the 9, 40, and 105 EMA. For analyzing long-term trends, I use the 20, 50, and 100 SMA, simple moving average. EMAs are better for short-term trading because they react quicker to price action. So here is PayPal, guys, and we were calling out this flag right here, and congratulations to anyone that took this, because look at this move after on PayPal. Really nice push higher. Really nice push higher here on PayPal's flag. So after that flag breakout, you can see we got the continuation. We were able to hold this previous level here right at 300. So let me go ahead and break this down to the 4-hour real quick. So flag breakout, you guys can see that very clean flag breakout continuation. And now at this point for PayPal, this area right here, I believe, is a pretty big must hold. So anywhere between 300 and 301 is where I want to see PayPal hold. You can see we are bouncing off of it this morning. So that is proving that there is support on this bounce right here. So there is support down here at 301, 300. So that is the level I want to see. If PayPal breaks below this level, then I am no longer bullish on trying to hit all-time highs here. If we can continue to hold up, let's see if we retest these 307s. And then, of course, as you guys know, my price target here on PayPal is back towards these 309 highs. So let's see. Let's see what happens. Yeah, we're just about 30 points off 15,000 on the Nasdaq. Pretty crazy. We're right back up there. Here you go. We're continuing. So big push there. How's the Dow doing? Dow's pushing through this supply zone as well, guys. In this morning, look at this push through supply. So very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, next is, what do we got? We got NEO and Palantir, and then that might have to be it here, guys. So, NEO, daily chart. We did talk about this support here on NEO. I think it was yesterday or the day before. 42, 1, 2, 3. Nice support here once again. However, we hit some really strong resistance up here, and this day yesterday isn't the best look. You don't want to see that roll over there, because it looks like we're starting to roll over. This is a new heavy resistance level, it seems, right here on NEO. So right here on NEO, you guys can see a very strong resistance level that has formed right in this area, and it sort of correlates again back to these levels, right? So resistance, resistance, resistance. A little bit of honestly, a little bit of a head and shoulders right here, shoulder, head, shoulder. Then we fall lower, right? So if I'm looking at NEO, what I'm watching here is this support at 42.40. We need to hold that. You need to hold this 42.40. If not, if we bounce, and then we need to push through this 47 level, because you have some serious resistance, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you need to get through that level. If you don't, then watch this downside as support. But right now, really not the most convincing chart here. Nothing that shows me any type of confirmation to the upside or downside. So that's NEO. Palantir. So guys, I mean, Palantir, long-term investors have not been rewarded recently. This thing just continues to go sideways, and if they put some kind of a dividend on their stock so that you could still enjoy some gains while this thing went sideways, that would be great. But I don't believe Palantir has dividends. So right now, if you're a shareholder of Palantir, you're really just chopping around. This kind of chart is not something that someone can try to predict or try to see what can happen, right? I mean, this thing could do anything. I mean, this thing could go back down here. It could bounce back into this channel. So I wouldn't be too interested in trading Palantir. I would be more interested in just investing in this thing long term. Maybe, just maybe, you can have some opportunity if this thing was to fall back down to these 21s. Right around here. Maybe if this was to slip to these 21s, then you can get a bounce play off of it, something like this, because you can see in the past we've had some really strong support in that area. So if it does pull back to 21, maybe if you get some confirmation to the upside, you can take a trade. But then again, Palantir could also do the same thing it did back here and slip right through that 21 all the way down to the 16. So I don't know, guys. Palantir, definitely very sideways. Maybe there's some tradable opportunities, but for me personally, I am just a long-term investor in Palantir and just going to continue to hold my shares and just dollar cost average into them. Long-term, I like the company, and that's really my thought process on it. So that's Palantir. It is 8:47, and that means that it is time for me to head out and go into the chat and prepare for the day. So once again, guys, thank you so much for being here. If we could, maybe 300 likes, I think that's a good goal. We have about 600 people watching. So let's see if we can get to 300 likes. Thank you guys again for being here. If you want to stay tuned for more, make sure to subscribe. Right down below, press that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for the growth here on the channel. It's been pretty nuts. A lot of growth on the channel, a lot of movement, a lot of subscribers, views. So thank you so much for everyone that's watching. Hopefully you're enjoying the videos. Yesterday, I posted a video on my top 5 largest losses of the month of June, exposing myself. So if you want to check that out, feel free to. That is my last video on the channel. Press the like button on that one and subscribe to the channel, guys. Have a great Wednesday. Focus on risk management. There's always another opportunity tomorrow. So even if it's a small day, like I've had 2 small days in a row, I'm perfectly happy with that. I know that there is a big day coming, so I'm just going to stay patient. What else? That's it. Have a good day. Thanks again for coming by. I hope to see you in tomorrow's live stream, and have a great trading day, guys. Peace out.